Kitsap Eviction Prevention Assistance, and other tools and resources that you should find helpful. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that I want you to take note of is the website, kitsap.gov.com. If you Google KEPA, Kitsap Eviction Prevention Assistance, uh, it should come right up in your Google search. When you do, you will arrive at this page here, and you'll see the nice big banner here, and there's all kinds of really good information. Now, as we have these conversations, I'll always go over the pages just so you're familiar of the information and where to go. So, as you can see, you will see here under the topics homelessness, division home, homeless crisis response and housing plan, homeless management, point and time count, resources, reports, and data on homelessness. There are also grants here on the right hand side, groups and initiatives here, severe weather shelters, homes for all, tiny cabins, homes for all, leadership group, housing first, and veterans initiative. One thing that may be important to note is we had some pretty hot weather and summer is here, that the severe weather shelters, if they do open for places for folks to stay cool and hydrated. On the left hand side, again, you have affordable housing, and there's some other reports and data here. And then there's rental assistance, which is what we are here for today, which is the Kitsap Eviction Prevention Assistance. So, again, you can see here, you can click here to learn more about the eviction resources and the eviction process. In a previous video, I've covered how to apply for rental assistance or utility assistance or both. Again, just really quickly, click here to initiate an online KEPA pre-application. Download the fillable form, the pre-application packet in English or in Spanish. 3. Download the printable pre-application packet in either English or Spanish. Those who may need help printing can visit any Kitsap Regional Library for free printing. And also, you can get help if you don't have internet access or need additional help with the pre-application packet. Be aware that they receive many calls about the program and may not immediately respond. You can call KCR, which is Kitsap Community Resources, at 360 473 2035 to get help with your pre-application. If you're already enrolled with Bremerton Housing Authority or Housing Kitsap programs, you should contact your agency directly to apply for rental assistance. If you are youth or a young adult up to age 16, you may apply with Coffee Oasis, which is located at 837 4th Street in Bremerton. You can also give them a call at 360 377 5560. If you're a landlord needing an application for assistance, please note that the applications received starting September 1 of 2021, Washington State Department of Commerce has updated the agreement. You can review this updated agreement on the TRAP Rent Payment Agreement Form PDF, which is clickable there. It is currently on version 6, which was updated on January 31st, 2022. There's some other stats here that can be helpful to you. And as I was stating before, this isn't just for rental assistance. You can also get help with electricity, water, sewer, gas, garbage pickup, and home energy costs. So these are all really important things for folks to know. Now, what I want to focus on today is whether or not you have any questions or concerns about the eviction process. And so that's what our focus is going to be today. And that will be found, again, as you can see, once you're on the main page, especially if you're trying to share this information with someone else, kitsap.gov.com. You can Google KEPA, as I was saying before. Go ahead and scroll down, and toward the bottom there on the left-hand side, this is where we will find ourselves at. Washington State has implemented numerous changes to the eviction process in the state. Some of these changes are permanent, others are temporary. You can read the 5160 Resource and Summary PDF for more information on an overview about the many changes to Washington State Eviction Law. The resources below can provide more information about these changes and provide additional assistance services. If you are a tenant who has been served an eviction notice, these are the legal resources available to help you. Now, we're going to spend some time with these resources, but I do want to click on the 5160 Resources and Summary.pdf. So let's do that together. All right. So the SB 5160 new guidance. Let me just enlarge this here for you. The definitions: unlawful detainer action, eviction process against tenants who have failed to pay rent or have violated their lease. The landlord must follow this legal process to ask a court to restore their right to possess a rental unit. Tenant protections. For renters, these protections apply to tenants protected by the Residential Landlord Tenant Act, mobile home park tenants, individuals who are living in a transient lodge, such as a hotel or motel or camping area, for 30 days or more prior to March 1, 2020, or for more than 30 days after March 1, 2020, unless they receive a 7-day eviction notice. If you were unable to pay rent between March 1, 2020 and December 30, 2021, your landlord may not charge you late fees or other charges for unpaid rent during that time period. And your landlord may not report to any prospective landlord that you did not pay rent or that an unlawful detainer action was filed against you because you did not pay rent during that time period. A prospective landlord may not hold it against you that you did not pay rent between March 1, 2020 and December 30, 2021 in considering your rental application. So these rights and responsibilities are very important for you to know. Understand that a landlord may not know. And so it's important that one, you can advocate for yourself, and two, you're able to provide this information to help educate and inform landlords. Uh, it's also important to consider that most landlords are probably really good folks and they just don't know how the policies have changed. Okay. So again, I've gone into a little bit more detail in a previous video, and so you can access those previous videos there. So the only thing I wanted to just kind of mention here, there are some repayment plans here for renters. Repayment plans are available to tenants protected by the Residential Landlord Tenant Act, mobile home park tenants, and individuals who are living in transient lodging, such as a hotel or motel or a camping area, for 30 days or more prior to March 1, 2020, or for more than 30 days after March 2020, unless they receive a 7-day eviction notice. So again, this information is here for you to read, and it's pretty short, and it just kind of explains it. But it is important that you know where that information is. Furthermore, another really important thing to note is relationships between tenant and landlord are critical and crucial, especially during this time. So I encourage you to reach out to your landlord. I encourage you to reach out to the tenant and get to know that landlord, get to know that tenant, establish a relationship, and find ways to work through uh, shortfalls in being able to pay the rent, right? So oftentimes we can get pretty stressed, and there's a lot of anxiety of not being able to pay, and we may be feeling like we're just not going to have a conversation because, well, I don't have the money to pay, so there's nothing to really talk about, and it might make the situation worse. Uh, but I would say is establish a relationship because most folks, again, are can be understanding, and so that will definitely vary uh, from person to person for sure. Anyhow, so we are back at the main page here. Just want to scroll back up, so as we're clicking around, we don't get too lost. But we're still on the main page here. We're going to scroll back down, and what we're going to do is we are going to go through each of these 1, 2, 3, 4 resources here: the Northwest Justice Project, Kitsap Legal Services, Washington Law Help.org, and Kitsap Dispute Resolution Center. So the first one we're going to click on is the Northwest Justice Project. Okay. Eviction Defense Screening Line. You can call 855-657-8387 and leave a message for a return call, or you can apply online. So we'll look at both of those. All right. So here, once we click on, you will see that there is a banner that kind of changes from English to Spanish. And you can click that banner if you to get to the language that fits for you. Eviction help, call 855-657-8387 or apply online at northwestjustice.org/apply -online. For rent assistance info, you could also visit washingtonlawhelp.org, and we will check that out a little bit later. Combating injustice, strengthening communities, protecting human dignity. The Northwest Justice Project provides free legal assistance to address fundamental human needs such as housing, family safety, income security, healthcare, education, and more. Their work challenges structural and racial inequalities to promote the long term well being of low income individuals, families, and communities across Washington state. Learn about the Northwest Justice Project racial justice commitments, and so you can click there. Now, they also have some other links here, which is really great. They have WashingtonLawHelp.org, which we will get to a bit later. Here's where you can apply for legal help, and here's the Washington Forms online do-it-yourself court forms. And here are some advocacy and client stories if you would like to read those. And then also a featured section. Read about how NJP's Eviction Prevention Unit and the Spokane County Bar Association are protecting tenants. All right. Actually, let's click into that. All right, Washington is the first state offering lawyers to help tenants in hopes to better outcomes for all. And this was dated April 28, 2022, so not very long ago. Just quickly, an 80-year-old Spokane woman with a degenerative back condition is told to clean up her cluttered apartment, where a mover stacked boxes far taller than her 4-foot 6-inch frame, and never helped to unpack them. Friends who helped with previous moves have since passed away. She is evicted in early April with plans to stay with friends on alternating days. A single mom with 3 kids is faced with taking eviction notice to a hearing where her attorney might prevail. Or settling with the landlord and moving out, she goes with the less risky option and gets out of the unit. An elderly man learns that the nuisance his landlord claims he is causing doesn't meet legal definition, so he could have a strong case to make in court. But if it means testifying and getting grilled with questions from the landlord's attorney, he's not interested. I'm going to force my client to endure additional trauma. I'm not going to force my client to endure additional trauma and go through that process, explains Alicia Kingston, one of the attorneys working under the Eviction Prevention Unit at the Northwest Justice Project. Inherently, this system is not set up in a way that is equal. Previously, fewer than 8% of tenants in Washington had legal representation at any point in the eviction process. Fewer than 8%, according to the University of Washington Eviction Project. Attorneys say that vast majorities of landlords, meanwhile, had a lawyer arguing on their behalf in court. So, again, this is really important to note. The eviction process can be very embarrassing. We don't want our friends and family to know that we're going through something like that. Many folks have never gone through an eviction and they don't know what their rights and responsibilities are. And again, the landlord most times will have their own representation. And so less than 8%, right? Less than 1 in 10 has a lawyer represent them. And so think of how powerful this is in helping you to navigate. So if you find yourself in the eviction process, please reach out and seek help because there is help out there for you. So a year ago, this month, lawmakers in Washington state passed a new law ensuring that tenants facing eviction will get an attorney if they can't afford one, and most can't. While many are familiar with the rights that legal counsel offer to those who go through the criminal justice system, this is the first time superior courts around the state have been required to appoint attorneys to civil eviction cases. Our hope is that this is a good way to keep people housed and a cost effective way to keep communities in place, especially given the housing markets we've seen in places like Spokane. In Kitsap County is the same thing, where the vacancy rate is so close to zero, says Felipe Knob, the Eviction Defense Program Manager for the state's Office of Civil Legal Aid, which ensures legal representation for people around the state. Northwest Justice Project and other law offices around the state are now offering legal counsel to indigent tenants with the goal of somewhat correcting the power imbalance that has long existed under Washington's court system. Even if attorneys aren't able to completely prevent the need for a tenant to move out in the several months that the program has been operational, many have been able to negotiate settlements with landlords that resulted in the outcome both can agree upon. One example might be agreeing to have a tenant move out by a certain date in exchange for not having an official eviction on the record, which would make it far harder to find a new place to live. And we know that this is very tough, right? In Kitsap County, if you are faced with eviction and you need to move, there's not a lot of options here in the county, right? So if there is a way that that relationship can be uh, salvaged and something can be agreed upon that both parties are okay with and you can stay housed, that is probably likely the best scenario, right? Because, well, what is the alternative once you go through an eviction? First, last, and deposit to get into another place, all of that stress, a lot of issues there. So this is really powerful. I really wanted them to know it is definitely worth having an attorney to represent you, to assist you if you qualify, says attorney Edith Martinez, who is assigned tenant cases via the Spokane County Bar Association. There is hope out there, and I don't know that enough tenants see the light at the end of the tunnel. Absolutely. So I'll leave the rest of this article here. But again, I wanted to read this part just to make the point that, again, there are so many different scenarios and you do not have to be alone. Please reach out to those resources. Okay. Now, again, just to show you where I was at the Northwest Justice Project. I clicked that button here. I scrolled down and I just clicked on the featured, right? Reading about how the Northwest Justice Project's Eviction Prevention Unit and the Spokane County Bar Association are protecting tenants. So that's where we were, but I just wanted to get back to where we originally started. 'Cause as we start clicking around, it's really easy to get lost. Okay. So again, that number is 855-657-8387. Now you can also apply online at northwestjustice.org/apply dash online. Now, again, what's nice is you can apply online if you're on that main page just by clicking here, and it will take you to the apply online. Now, what's also really nice is they have a video here that can help you. Okay. So here, watch our short video to find out how the online application works. Apply online to start your application for free legal services. This application is the first step to find out if you qualify. Okay. What will happen after you complete the application? One, if you appear to be eligible and have an issue with eviction, debt, government benefits, or special education, the Northwest Justice Project will call you, or you may be referred to another legal organization who may help you. Number two, if you appear to be eligible and have a different legal problem, you may be asked to call Northwest Justice Project's Clear hotline, filling out an application to make the screening process go more quickly. And number three, if you are not eligible, you may be referred to another reduced cost legal services or to a lawyer referral service. We may also be able to give you uh, helpful information or legal forms online. Is this an emergency? If you have a deadline coming up in the next few days, complete this application, then call the CLEAR number at 1 800 201 1014 as soon as possible. And their lines are open weekdays 9:15 to 12:15 p.m. So it's a 3-hour window there. Okay. So let's go ahead and play that video.
Welcome to Clear Online, an easy and confidential way to apply for free legal help from the Northwest Justice Project and many other volunteer lawyer programs across Washington State. If your case involves eviction, loss of housing subsidy, loss of government benefits like Social Security disability, consumer issues like abusive debt collection and fraud, or your child's special education needs, you can complete the online application in just a few minutes. We will have to ask you about the number of people in your household, your income, and date of birth to check to see if you may be eligible for free legal services. If you appear to be eligible and have one of the qualifying legal issues, we will call you back and complete the process to connect you with an attorney at the Northwest Justice Project or another volunteer lawyer program. For other kinds of legal issues we help with, like divorce, custody, foreclosure, employment issues, and others, you can still fill out a Clear Online application, but you may be directed to call the Clear hotline or, in some cases, referred to a volunteer lawyer program in your county. Filling out the application can make the Clear phone screening go more quickly because we already have some of your information. You will also be directed to view legal fact sheets or forms packets from WashingtonLawHelp.org that may help you with your case while you wait to connect with an attorney. If you have an emergency deadline coming up in the next few days, complete the application and then call Clear as soon as possible, Monday through Friday between 9:15 a.m. and 12:15 p.m. The Clear Online application keeps your personal information secure and confidential within the Northwest Justice Project and our network of volunteer lawyer programs who will also maintain your confidentiality. If you are using a public computer, like at a library, you should completely exit the web browser when you are done, so people who use the computer after you won't see your private information. Also, check out WashingtonLawHelp.org, where you can find lots of free legal information, interactive legal forms, self-help packets, and videos.
All right. So again, that made it nice and easy to see there. Let's go ahead and get ourselves out of that screen. Okay. And so you can watch that as much as you need to. One note also is you can slow that down if that was a little fast, as that was a pretty quick video of showing you where to click and enter in information. What was really awesome about Northwest Justice Project is they can help you with a lot more things than just eviction assistance. So here we're talking about events, but there were many other things that you could get help with. So just wanted to again point that out. Okay. All right. So again, that clear hotline outside of King County, you can call the number. Again, they're open from 9:15 to 12:15, Monday through Friday, and that number is 888-201-1014. Then they have a line for seniors over 60. They have services for those facing foreclosure. And so, what is CLEAR? CLEAR is coordinated legal education, advice, and referral. It is a toll free legal hotline for people with low incomes. For the eligibility, before they can assist you, they must collect some information from you to determine if you are eligible for services. In most counties, persons who are 60 and over will not be denied assistance based on their income. Services are targeted to problems that affect basic needs such as housing, income, medical care, and family safety. Due to limited resources, Lawyers and paralegals are not able to assist every caller. So again, that's good to note. Okay. Confidentiality, which is important. Lawyers must uh, avoid conflicts of interest that arise from talking with both parties to a dispute. We will ask you for information about the person, business, or agency with whom you are having a problem to identify any conflicts of interest. We prefer to speak directly with the person having the legal problem. If you are contacting Clear on behalf of another person, you may be asked to provide additional information to allow us to speak with you. We will determine whether we can speak with you or whether we need to speak directly with the person you are trying to help. This is to avoid conflicts and to ensure that we can obtain adequate information about the client and case from you. If you are eligible to speak with a lawyer or paralegal, they will ask you detailed questions about your problem. Please have papers and documents concerning your problem with you when you call. It will also help if you have important information such as names of the people involved with the problem and their addresses and telephone numbers. And a kind of legal aid you can receive based on the information you give us, we may do one or more of the following: give you verbal or written advice that may help you to solve your problem on your own, send you written legal information and or forms to help you solve the problem on your own, try to resolve your problem through negotiation, refer you to another legal aid service. They will try to make best referral possible. They cannot guarantee that a referral will be available or that the referral agency or program will be able to help you. Okay, so that is what the CLEAR program is. A couple FAQs here. What is a civil legal problem? What kind of civil legal problems does NJP handle? Here we're talking about eviction assistance, so you can click on that and look at the other ones for you. How does NJP assist clients with civil legal problems? We kind of just went over that. Are the NJP services free? Let's go ahead and click on that because that is super important, right? Can AGP take every client that asks for help? No, of course not. There's some issues there. Board of directors, let's see where this free piece was. Oh, sorry. Some cases, clients may be asked to help pay for some of the costs that can come up in handling a court case, but not the cost of the lawyer. However, the Northwest Justice Project will discuss these costs with the client beforehand. Okay. So again, there is no charge for clients who are financially eligible for NJP services. NJP lawyers are paid by NJP with funds primarily provided by the federal government through the National Legal Services Corporation and by the state legislature through the Office of Civil Legal Aid. NJP also receives limited private funds and support from the Legal Foundation of Washington and the Campaign for Equal Justice. Okay. All right. Just gonna go back there to our FAQs. And again, I'm just looking here on the left hand side, get legal help, eviction help, how to apply online, which was either call or apply online, the clear hotline, and then FAQs. Okay. And all that information is there for you. So again, that is the Northwest Justice Project. Now let's go back to the main page here. Just going to go ahead and close those extra windows. So back on that main page, we just reviewed the Northwest Justice Project, where you can either call or apply online. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Kitsap Legal Services. These are free legal services, including representation for qualifying individuals, eviction defense at kitsaplegalservices.org, or you can call 360-479-6125. So let's go ahead and click on Kitsap Legal Services. All right. So once we click on that, this is the page you should land on. Kitsap Legal Services, Civil Legal Aid. legal help, volunteer your time, donate, and support. In this regard, we need Get Legal Help. Okay. All right. Get Legal Help. We have volunteer attorneys, paralegals, and others willing to assist low income persons with civil, non criminal legal issues. We also have attorneys and staff who may be available to provide free assistance for low income residential tenants facing eviction. For eviction issues, call 360 479 6125, or you can email the Eviction Defense and Kitsap Legal Services.org. For other general legal issues, call 360 479 6125, and again, or email. All right. But again, we are concerned with eviction assistance. All right, so let's get into this a little bit. You can get many documents to help you with most areas of civil law and court procedures at WashingtonLawHelp.org and advocate for yourself. Okay. Now, part of your advocation that I want to point out here is ask questions. Ask questions. The only bad question is the question that is not asked. If you don't understand, please ask the question. And because these folks are very busy and it can take some time to get a hold of people, it's a good idea to try to write down all the questions that you want to ask. Because once you finally catch that person, or you're waiting on a call back, maybe you're washing dishes, or you're doing something else and you weren't expecting the call to come in at that time, and now you're like, oh, what did I need to ask? You have all these questions, right? So try to write those questions down, because that will be very helpful for you and reduce your anxiety and stress. Okay. Attorneys write these documents with the goal of people being able to help themselves. Take your time to read through the materials. There are instructions on how to fill out court forms and instructions on what to do and when. You should read through these materials, even if you get an appointment with one of your volunteers, since this will make you more prepared and allow you to get the most use out of your appointment. Take the initiative to help yourself so volunteers can get you to the next step of your case. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Other resources to help yourself: the Northwest Justice Project, the statewide civil legal aid organization with the most funding and paid uh, attorneys on the phone and around Washington State. They can provide advice on the phone and direct representation in court. To become eligible, by calling CLEAR, that number again, 1-888 201 1014, or filling out the online application at www.northwestjustice.org. Their website indicates they will only call you back for loss of government benefits or housing. So you still need to call them for all other issues. Okay. So again, we're talking about housing here. So they will call you back. Self-help publications. You can get many documents to help you with most areas of civil law and court procedures at www.washingtonlawhelp.org. And again, we'll visit that later. And advocate for yourself. Attorneys write these documents with the goal of people being able to help themselves. There are also instructions on how to fill out court forms. Kitsap County Aging and Long-Term Care, the local county government, has a contract for seniors to receive direct legal assistance in many areas. They contract with Northwest Justice Project to provide screening through CLEAR, and then provide attorneys to help seniors on the phone or in person within Kitsap County. The Kitsap County contact number is 800 562 6418, and the website is kitsap.gov or kitsapgov.com /ALTC/community services.html or HTM hashtag legal. Let me go ahead and pop that there. And I'm just going to put this in the captions so you can have that. All right. Go ahead and add that. All right? So that is that. Can we help with your case? Landlord tenant evictions, landlord disputes. The answer is yes. Just as a FYI, they can also help with family divorce, custody, parenting plans, child spousal support, domestic violence. They can help with bankruptcy, collection and garnishments, immigration, probate, wills, healthcare directives, and power of attorney. Now, the reason why I want to point that out is some of these other things can lead to an eviction, right? So if you need help under one of those other categories, please do reach out uh, and get some assistance. Okay. So this is what they are here for. So please take advantage of that. The few things that they cannot help with: criminal matters, medical malpractice, personal injury, business law contracts, driver's license reinstatement, or appeals. Okay. So just FYI there. And this one is a pretty quick website here. Not a lot to it, but a lot of good help. And again, that was Kitsap Legal Services. And I will go ahead and put their email here in the captions. Pop that up there. And their phone number so that you have that info. Get that together. All right. Again, that phone number is 360 479 6125. And that email is EvictionDefense at KitsapLegalServices.org. Okay. All right. Good. We got through two. We've got two more to go. So now let's go ahead and take a look at WashingtonLawHelp.org. There was quite a few referrals for WashingtonLawHelp.org. And then there's a bunch of eviction resources and eviction defense helper tool. So that should be pretty cool. So as we click on that, we're going to come to the main page here. You'll see that this page is actually maintained by the Northwest Justice Project, right? So all of these resources are kind of intertwined to get you what you need. And as you can see here by the tab, you've got legal topics, legal directory, self-help forums, get legal help, eviction help, and then about us. So you can search by issue. And so you could type whatever your issue was here, eviction, spell it correctly, and then you could click, and then this would give you different resources for that. Okay. And so there's all kinds like eviction help in Kitsap County. Okay. All right, but I'm going to go back. New Washington State landlords must give a good, quote unquote, reason to end tenancy or not renew a lease. All right. Find out about the new law that requires landlords to evict or refuse to renew a rental agreement for specific reasons only. And that is hashtag 6345EN and hashtag 6346EN. All right. Contents. Please note, frequently asked questions, get legal help, download, want to read more, or related resources. Also, please note, read this only if you live in Washington State. Eviction law continues to change. Read about the latest changes to eviction laws. Okay, and then there are some frequently asked questions here. Tenants in Washington State, read this. A new state law says landlords must have a good or legal reason for not renewing a rental agreement, ending, terminating a tenancy, or evicting a tenant. This new law, House Bill 12-1236, went into effect on May 10th of 2021. The new law lists what counts as good reason to ask a tenant to leave the rental unit or to evict his tenant. We discussed these reasons and which tenants are protected by this law below. Okay, so you can click on the House bill, or they're going to talk about it a little bit here. I rent my home. Does this new law apply to me? Yes, the new law protects you. If you have a lease or a fixed term written agreement, this means you and the landlord have agreed to rent for a specific time, like 6 or 12 months. If you are a month-to-month tenant, for an indefinite amount of time, even if you had a prior written rental agreement. And then here, no, the new law does not protect you. If you have had a written rental agreement for multiple 6 to 12 month terms without ever becoming a month to month tenant. For example, you've lived many years in a rental and have renewed your rental agreement every time it came up for renewal. Or if you are a month to month renter, but you and your landlord made a written or verbal rental agreement to only rent for a specific time between May 10th, 2021 and 3 months after the end of the state eviction moratorium. Okay, so that's important. The new law does not protect me. Does the landlord still have to give me some kind of notice? Yes. If the new law does not protect you, your landlord does not have to give you one of the good reasons listed below to stop renting to you to evict. However, the landlord must still give you 60-day notice that they want to stop renting to you. Okay? That's really important. We'll read that again. Yes, if the law does not protect you, your landlord does not have to give you one of the good reasons listed below to stop renting to you or to evict you. However, the landlord must still give you a 60-day notice that they want to stop renting to you. Okay? Now let's take a look at the legal reasons to evict. There are several good causes or reasons landlords could use to terminate a tenancy or evict a tenant. In all cases, landlords must properly serve a written notice on paper. They cannot just tell a tenant verbally or through a text message. Okay, so that doesn't count as a legal document in that case, right? Can't be in a text. They cannot force uh, a tenant out by changing the locks or shutting off the utilities. You can read, "My landlord locked me out. What can I do to learn more?" So we'll go back and take a look at that because I think that's really important. So it's like, so what do I do if that happens? If your landlord evicts you in violation of this new law, you may have a case for wrongful eviction. Talk to your lawyer right away. There may be deadlines for filing a lawsuit. Here are some of the reasons landlord can terminate a tenancy and how much notice the landlord must give the tenant in each situation. So here you can see there are quite a few reasons. We're going to go over these 17, okay, just so you know. It's good for you to hear them because later on you may say, oh, you know what? I thought I heard something like that. Number one, rent. If the landlord believes you have fallen behind in rent, the landlord can give you a 14-day notice to pay or vacate. You can read, "My landlord just gave me a 14-day notice to pay or vacate," to learn more. Landlords can only give this type of notice after the eviction moratorium ends. Okay, it is over. The federal and Washington State moratoria are scheduled to end June 30, 2021. We don't know if it will be extended again. Yes, it has ended. Number two, lease violation. If the landlord believes you have violated an important term or rule in the lease, the landlord can give you a 10-day notice to comply or vacate. If you lived in subsidized housing, the landlord can give you one of these notices for violating an important requirement of the housing program. And again, you can read, "My landlord just gave me a 10-day notice to comply or vacate." Number three, repeated lease violations. Gotten 4 or more written 10-day notices in the last 12 months, the landlord can give you a 60-day notice. Crime or nuisance. Number four, if the landlord you have committed crimes on the property or have repeatedly or substantially interfered with neighbors or landlord's right to use and enjoy their own homes, the landlord can give you a 3-day notice to quit. Read, "My landlord just gave me a 3-day notice to quit," to learn more. Shared space. If you and the landlord share a dwelling unit, kitchen, or bathroom, the landlord must give you a 20-day notice before the end of the rental term. Okay. Number six, sexual harassment. If the landlord believes you have made unwanted sexual advances or sexually harassed the property owner, a manager, or another tenant in violation of the lease, the landlord can give you a 20-day notice. And landlord may also give you this type of notice if the landlord believes you have harassed the landlord, an employee, or another tenant based on their race, gender, or other protected status. Okay. So that again is very important. So, if we know that there are units, multiple unit properties, and you uh, may be interested in someone who lives in another unit. You want to be very careful because if that is perceived as sexual harassment, then that landlord would have grounds to start the eviction process on you. Okay, number 7, condemned. If the certified local agency has said that the rental unit is uninhabitable, the landlord can give you a 30-day notice. If the 30 days notice is not possible, the landlord must give as much advance notice as possible. And again, you can read your tenant's right, my place has been condemned to learn more. Number 8, transitional housing. If you are in transitional housing program and your participation is ended, or you no longer qualify for the program, the landlord can give you a 30-day notice. Okay. Number 9, overstayed lease. If you are still living in the rental unit after your lease or rental agreement ended and you have not signed a new reasonable agreement after being asked to by the landlord can give you a 30-day notice. Not on the lease. If you are living in a rental for at least 6 months without being on the lease, the person on the lease moves out, the landlord can give you a 30-day notice, demanding that you apply to be on the rental agreement or vacate. You have these 30 days to fill out and submit a rental application to live in the rental. The landlord must use the same criteria to consider your application as any other applicant in deciding whether to approve or deny your application. Number 11, false application. If you intentionally lied on your rental application about something important, the landlord can give you 30-day notice, right? And what I would say here is intentional, right? You may not have intentionally lied, but I think that could be a slippery slope. So be careful there, right? You want to try to provide as much accurate information as possible. All right. Number 12, sex offender. If you must register as a sex offender during the tenancy or you did not share that you're a registered sex offender on your rental application, the landlord can give you a 60-day notice. Number 13, the landlord no longer renting at all. If the landlord has a business or economic reason to no longer rent the place, the landlord can give you a 60-day notice. And we know that this is one of the uh, very common reasons why a landlord would cease renting, right? So be wary of that. Number 14, the landlord needs a place for self or family. If the landlord or their immediate family needs to move into the rental unit, the landlord can give a 90-day notice. Okay. That can happen too, especially in times like these where, things are really hard for everyone. That could be the case. That's something to be considerate of. Number 15, the landlord is selling. A landlord who is going to sell the rental property or renting unit can give you a 90-day notice. If the landlord does not actually sell the house, you can sue for unlawful eviction. Again, I would take a look at definitely work with your attorney there. Um, I mean, what happens if the uh, landlord puts the house up for sale, but it doesn't sell? Was that a ploy to try to get you out, or did it just not sell? So that is definitely a good question for an attorney. Number 16, renovations. A landlord who plans to knock down, demolish, or renovate the home can give you a 120-day notice, 4 months, right? Replace the roof. We actually had one of our folks go through that where a new landlord purchased the property. It was a single family home, and they wanted to do all these modifications. And instead of allowing the family to stay, they chose to have the family move, right? They wanted the family to move. And then number 17, condo. A landlord who plans to make the rental a condominium can give you a 120-day notice also. So there are a lot of different reasons here why a landlord can execute eviction, right? So it's important for you to be knowledgeable on those. And again, you can get legal help by visiting the Northwest Justice Project, where you can help to get legal help. You can also download a printer friendly version, and you can also read more. There's an extended version, and there's also some other related resources here below. Okay, so just FYI on that. All right. So this is WashingtonLawHelp.org. A lot of good information here. Let's go back to the main page. And this is where we were. All right. And then you can click on the link for eviction resources and eviction defense helper tool. So go ahead and click on that. And I'll go ahead and put that also in our little caption box. So we have it. All right. Pop that up. So once you get to this page, you'll find out about rent assistance and other help for tenants in Washington State. Find assistance programs and other help near you, eviction defense helper, and the latest news. Right? So laws are constantly changing, policies, procedures. So you definitely want to check that out. Find rent assistance programs and other help near you. You can still apply for rent assistance if you owe back rent and have low income. Rent assistance is available. Choose your county below to find organizations that provide rent assistance and other help near you. Note Northwest Justice Project does not provide rent assistance, but the organizations listed do. Rent assistance is meant to help everyone, no matter what your citizenship or immigration status. Applying for rent assistance will not harm any immigration application you file. Okay. And you can just use your drop down and find your county. Nice. Okay. Let me go back there because it took me there immediately. But at the bottom, eviction defense helper, not sure what to do next. Answer questions to get your personalized help here. So if you're really just, I don't know what's happening, you can click here and start the helper. And it's just going to go through and ask you questions, right? Eviction defense helper, learn your rights and get help, not legal advice. That's what they're trying to tell you. And then there's uh, a level of privacy that you should expect. And you can hit continue. And like I said, it's just going to ask you, like, where do you live and questions like that nature. That should be okay. All right. And then there's a little video here, how to use the Eviction Defense Helper. Let's check that out.
Are you worried about eviction? Did you get a notice from your landlord about eviction or about past due rent that you owe? If you are concerned about eviction or a notice from your landlord, you can use the Eviction Defense Helper to get more information about your rights and situation. The Eviction Defense Helper can get you information about notices from your landlord, rental assistance, rent repayment plans, and how to find legal help in your area. The Eviction Defense Helper is an app that is available in both Spanish and English. It will ask you some basic questions, and then it will give you information about your situation and your rights. And it will help you connect to local county resources. You can use the app on your phone, computer, tablet, or anything that is connected to the internet. To get started, you can go to WashingtonLawHelp.org. And once you're at WashingtonLawHelp.org, click on the red button in the right side of the screen that says Eviction Help. Once you get to the Facing Eviction page, you can access local county resources in all these languages or using the drop-down menu. But to get to the Eviction Defense Helper app, scroll down and click on Start the Helper. Once you click on Start the Helper, the the Eviction Defense Helper will open, and you can continue through to answer all the questions to get your personalized information. Put in what county you live in, and then go forward to the questions about whether you've received any kind of notice from your landlord. As you answer questions, the app will give you information about your rights and your situation. Go to WashingtonLawHelp.org to find the Eviction Defense Helper and get the information that you need.
All right. So again, nice little quick video that you can watch. And there's some latest news here. State eviction protections are no longer active. Okay. The bridge is no longer active. If you owe back rent, your landlord must still offer you a reasonable repayment plan, and they must offer you an opportunity for mediation through the Eviction Resolution Pilot Program, ERPP. If you are facing eviction, call 855-657-8387 or apply online. And no late fees allowed until January 1, 2022. Okay. So we're all past all of those dates. And as you can see, this was last updated November 2nd. So there hasn't been a whole lot in new information. All right. And that was WashingtonLawHelp.org. Now we go back to our page here. We just reviewed the WashingtonLawHelp.org, the Eviction Resource and Eviction Defense Helper tool. The last one that we need to go through is the Kitsap Dispute Resolution Center. And what we will do is we will cover that at the top of our next video. Today, we reviewed Kitsap County's eviction prevention assistance and where to get help if you need eviction assistance in regards to legal help. Okay. And again, you have the Northwest Justice Project, you have the Kitsap Legal Services, you have WashingtonLawHelp.org, and then you have the Kitsap Dispute Resolution Center. And that last one here is the one that we're going to go over in our next video. I hope that you will join us next time for another one of our informative videos. This has been brought to you by Gather Together, Grow Together. We appreciate you for joining us today. Have a good day.